Mark Bell from supertraining.tv. I'm here with Chris Ramos, aka Chris Stamos, aka Torta. And we're going to talk about his monumental squat day that he had yesterday. So you ended up hitting a 645 squat,
yes,
right? And a 675 squat. Why don't you talk about that a little bit, because preparation leading up to it, type of training you've been doing the last couple of weeks.
Last few weeks I've been focusing a lot on the form for the free squat. Prior to that though, I mostly used the box. I used a lot of box squatting every Saturday. Hadn't missed a session in months, and I think that definitely helped. But this last session was pretty special. I had only planned on squatting about 630, and Mark said, "No, that's too light. Let's have some fun." I let him choose my attempts, and trusted in him that those were the right attempts to go with, and it looks like we did well. I ended up with a 675 squat. I was pretty happy with that.
You're talking about doing some box squats. That's a little unorthodox for some of the raw lifters. You hear people tend to even get all upset on the internet about, you know, whether a raw lifter should be box squatting and whether they should be accommodating resistance. Is that something that you're utilizing? I mean, you're only like 210 pounds and you're moving some massive weights. So what the hell are you doing in your training?
I personally like a lot of contrast on my box squats. I like to feel a lot of weight on my back. That really preps me for the free squat. I don't have trouble getting out of the hole in my free squats, so I definitely think that the box squat is a way to train the upper half of that squat and not get beat up week after week, you know, working throughout the bottom range of the squat, which I don't feel I need to work on that so much right now.
So are you squatting like once a week, twice a week? How many times a week you squat?
I like squatting twice a week, usually on Tuesdays to a box.
That's half the amount of work that Dan Green does. I don't know if that's acceptable.
Yeah, good old Dan. I like going to a box on Tuesdays and free squat on Saturdays.
Why do you like to do that? Why do you like to do the box squats?
The box squat, I like to put around 500 pounds straight weight and then really load up heavy on the contrast. I feel that preps me for the Saturday session. It makes the weight feel a little lighter. We might, call it the future method. It's what I'm doing on Saturday. It feels a lot lighter, and that seems to help a lot. Though sporadically, I'll join you guys on the Tuesday deadlift session. So I don't want to just forget about my pull. So.
With the last squat of the day, the 675, I remember and the last two squats actually, you just said, just put whatever on there that you think. You think that helped you kind of free your mind and just concentrate on just a squat? You got a lot of good spotters and stuff, a lot of people around you firing you up. We got the music cranked and everything. You think that assisted you in kind of making the lift, the fact that you just had no clue what the hell was on there?
Yeah, I think it did help. A lot of times people have the fear of the number, and some of the greatest lifters had their coaches, pick their attempts throughout the meet, and were really successful with that. I know Louis Simmons is one of those coaches that does that, and I think it did work well, and I don't have a fear of going over 650 now in the squat at all.
I did it with 675.
All right, that's good.
Oh, you said something great on Facebook. You said you got to trust yourself and you got to trust your coach. That goes for anybody else out there. You got to try to trust the people that you're around. If you don't trust the people that you're around, then try to get around better people.
Right.
That's it from supertraining.tv.